Yep, that's right. This is an impromptu live show, not scheduled, not planned. It just happens sometimes. Uh, Tomorrow's live show is still going to happen 7 o'clock. Trying to figure out a good day to do another Patreon stream. I was going to do one today, but I found out last night after my son's baseball game that he's going to have another baseball game today. So that might not work out. So if I can't do it today, we'll do another Patreon live show for Thursday. First Patreon live show didn't do all that great. We were figuring out a bunch of stuff, how to share it. Patreon's a whole different story, guys, as far as getting content for that. But we figured it out. So for all you Patreon members out there, whenever we do a live show, I will send out 2 links. The first one will be the link to where you can literally join me on camera and talk to me, I guess, face to face. And then the second link will be if you just want to watch. So if you're a Patreon member, keep your eyes out for that on Thursday. Thursday, if I can't do it today. And the link will always be on the Patreon page, so that's where you'll find it. Anyways, I wanted to give everybody a round of applause. We're doing really good right now, guys. Really good. We've had a big time uptick on views, a big time uptick on subscribers. And usually I wouldn't make it, that big a deal out of it because we've had boom periods in the past. But for this channel to go through a boom right now is a massive deal because this is a seasonal thing. The down months for college football YouTube channels usually, right after the national championship. So you go through January, February, usually all of March, and usually you don't start, getting going again till, I don't know, early May, something like that. Well, we've gotten going a lot earlier. This is the beginning of April 12th. I thought it was earlier than that for some reason. I thought it was like first week of April. Anyways, early April, so we're a little ahead of schedule. So I'm super excited about that. And that gives me reason to believe that whenever the boom period comes, it's going to be a big boom period. So I can't wait for that. Big goal for this year. Last year, the highest, as far as the most subs in one day, was like 258, which is really stinking good. That's really good. But we have a higher goal this year. This year, we want to hit 500 subs in one day. And that will probably come in the July and August months. That's when usually you get most of your subscribers right there. And then, of course, our 10,000 subscriber mark. By the end of the year, we want to be at 10,000. That's literally double in growth. And this unexpected boom that we've had in early April has us on track for that. We were pretty slow for February, extremely slow actually, but that was expected. We had that was figured into the planning. March was okay, except for the end of March. We did okay at the end of March. April's an awesome month so far. So I just want to tell you guys, appreciate that. I know you guys have been liking and watching and sharing and all that good stuff. So you're doing what I asked you to do, and I appreciate that. And that's why this channel is growing. I try to get this point across. I can do all the videos in the world, but if nobody sees me or nobody watches it or likes it or comments, whatever the case may be, it doesn't mean anything. So you guys, I give you guys the credit. Y'all have helped me grow this channel, and we're over 5,700 subscribers now. So we should hit 6,000. I'm saying we'll hit 6,000 by the end of April. So then we'll only have 4,000 to go by the end of the year. I think we can do it. I think we can easily do it. I think we'll overshoot that goal by a lot. Let's see who we have in the chat real quick. Shout outs. Give me a second, guys. The laptop is always slow when it comes to live streams. Goose Sports, what's going on, bud? Eric Wallace, of course, Joey Foster in the house. Colin Molnar, I haven't seen your name in a while. Maybe ever. I think you're new to the channel. Maybe a live stream. Anyways, I appreciate you stopping by. He says, hey, man, I haven't had the chance to be on recently. Been off of social media for a while. There you go. That explains it. Hope you've been well. Well, you stopped by at a good time because the channel is doing really good right now. Really good. Millis Vanillis, I actually had a chance to meet that guy. Very awesome guy, very down to earth. We had some good laughs and talked a lot in Pigeon Forge. Evan Ames, Jay Glizzy, 1999. He says, "What's your thoughts on that 5-star recruit we grabbed, McGuire Moss?" Yeah, I'm going to do a video on that, but there's other names that's hitting for West Virginia basketball as well. So I kind of wanted to do it all together. I'll definitely talk about it though. Kim Gamondo, WV West Virginia to the ACC. When do you think? That's the reason that's hard to predict is because West Virginia has the choice of the ACC or the Big 12. And somebody actually left a comment on one of my videos saying that they were talking to they were somewhere, I think in West Virginia, in a restaurant and talking to their cousin about West Virginia to the ACC, and somebody in the table either next to him or behind him, it was close, overheard him that was affiliated with West Virginia said, "Yeah, all that is true. The airfield being expanded, the academics, facility upgrades, all that is in preparation for West Virginia to go to the ACC. But here's the thing: West Virginia will have a choice." So, yes, they're preparing for the ACC, and yes, they've been talking to the ACC, but they do have a choice, and the Big 12 did add Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and BYU to kind of beef up, and that way losing Oklahoma and Texas doesn't hurt them as much. So, and then there's the TV deal that the ACC's in. It's not a good TV deal, and I've been going back and forth on that. Because that's one of the things that people bring up. Oh, that TV deal is awful. It is awful. But if you see the amount of money travel costs West Virginia, that's a lot of money too. And it affects our actual performance. If you don't think that flying halfway across the country for every, not just for one or two, but for every road game doesn't wear on those players, then you don't know sports at all. You don't know. So I think I would still prefer the ACC because I think we'd have a better chance to win it. I think we'd be more competitive. I don't think we've been a doormat by any means in the Big 12, but I think we've had some missed opportunities because we don't really fit in the Big 12. I think it would be a better fit for West Virginia. Would I be mad if we stayed in the Big 12? No, I wouldn't be mad. We do make a lot of money there. That's the biggest downside for joining the ACC. So I wouldn't be totally mad, but my preference would definitely be the ACC. Let's see. Who else we got in the chat? Kind of got off track there. But as far as when, I have no idea. Brownie Talk Sports Network decided to drop by. Appreciate you dropping by, bud. He says, "This is a hard season for college football channels. I'm afraid I will lose subscribers because I have zero video ideas." Dude, I understand. It's tough, especially in the beginning, but if you're just starting out, really the best thing to do is go out to ESPN and formulate your own opinions on what they're talking about. And that's always, you can always come up with decent video ideas. Like I did a video that did really well on what Dabo said about college football changing. A lot of people agreed. A lot of people disagreed. Just make sure you're not trying to get everybody to agree with you. That's what you have to realize whenever you're doing a YouTube channel for college football. If you're trying to just do a video where you think everybody will agree with you, that's actually not a good idea. You actually want people to disagree with you. That's what starts the conversation. So, and people use the term trolls. I use the term troll in the title of this video, but that was to get your attention. Honestly, I don't. It's just people disagreeing, and sometimes they'll call you names and this and that. But when they do that, just think of it as they're helping your channel. Even when they're trash talking you, they're helping your channel. That's how you got to view it. Why would you want to join that TV deal? Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, we want to play our rivals every year. We want to have a better shot. We want to have a better shot of winning the conference. We want the travel to be better for our athletes. You got to realize it's not just for football. You have basketball, baseball, and all the other sports. Andre King, thank you for the $5 super chat. Always a great supporter. I always appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Who else we got in here? Owen Sapelanik. Did I say that right? Sapelanik or Kapelanik? Kapelnik? One of those has to be right. Since the SEC is kicking CBS to the curb, why not the Big 12 pick up CBS? Yes, 100% agree with that. And honestly, if that were to happen, I would like for them, I don't know how the rights things go. Maybe the SEC owns the rights to the music of the SEC on CBS. But if the Big 12 does pick up CBS or CBS the Big 12, however you want to word it, I like that. I've always liked CBS's intro for their college football. And they had it before the SEC, so I don't think that's necessarily an SEC thing. Because I remember like a West Virginia Syracuse game back in, it was 98, 99. It had the CBS theme because it was on at like 7 or 8 o'clock. So that'd be awesome. And keep the CBS music theme. That is a big deal to me. I might actually do a video on ranking the music themes because some have been great and some have been bad. Right at the top, I don't know if I could pick between them though, but right at the top, I would have to say college football on CBS. That's definitely a top theme. And then the NBA on NBC. That is an iconic intro. So it would be close between those two theme songs for sports. I definitely liked it. I don't think TNT, TBS has done anything good for a theme song. I don't like the NBA on TBS or TNT, whatever it is. I think they dropped the ball on that. Man, they're just not good at theme music. I do think the NFL on Fox is pretty good as well. And of course, Monday Night Football. But right at the top is college football on CBS and the NBA on NBC. Those would have to be the cream of the crop. Definitely going to have to do a ranking video on that. Owen says, I laughed when I saw that trolls part. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I try to welcome trash talk, and I try to welcome the so-called trolls because they don't even realize they're helping your channel when they come in and start gabbing. I love it. I mean, if you really think about it, how boring would it be if everybody just, oh man, you're right. I agree with that. Great point. I mean, it's nice to get compliments, but if there's nobody to argue, then it wouldn't mean anything and it would be boring. So I like the arguments and the trash talk and all that stuff. I encourage it. Kim says backdrops look awesome, dude. I appreciate that. That's been a work in progress. If you've been a Golden Blue subscriber for at least I'd say a year, you've seen kind of the transformation. And I'm still not all the way done. Eventually, we want to get kind of like a 3D curved shelving for the helmets. Right now, all I have is this, which I mean, it's going to work. It'll work, but it's not the end result that I want. Brownie Talk Sports Network says, you know what is worse than the Big 12 having no network? The Pac-12 network. Yes, that's been a disaster. Pac-12 network. Pac-12 After Dark sounds catchy, but it hasn't been very successful. I mean, nobody wants to stay up to watch average teams beat up on each other. Tiger Baskin says, wanted to stop by and say, hey, bro. I appreciate it. And it was nice to meet you at the Slob Olympics. That was a great time. You know, it was a shame that the Slob Olympics ended the way it did with people, controversy, people saying, no, he really won, or no, I really should have won, blah, 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 which I get it. But at the same time, I don't know. That's why we all met, yes, But the real thing is meeting all the other YouTubers and hanging out with them, talking to them, doing videos with them, getting video ideas. So, that's the biggest reason why you're there. And that was kind of overshadowed by the controversy of the Slob Olympic trophy. I mean, I like having it, but to me, it's not like, the end all be all. I mean, I'm going to have to give it to somebody else next year because I don't expect to win it back to back. I didn't expect to win it this year. I was trying to finish top 5, top 3, but I didn't expect to win it. So, it was awesome to win it, but next year I'm probably not going to win it, so I'll pass it off to somebody else. Um, so I'm excited. This will not be a call-in show, but tomorrow will be. Wednesday night at 7 o'clock will be a call-in show. So this wasn't a planned live show. This is kind of just wanted to talk a little bit because my son has a baseball game this evening, and the update for the Patreon. We're starting to do live shows for the Patreon, which the great thing about the Patreon live shows are there's not as many people because there's not as many Patreons. So I can literally give out the link to join me on camera. So for the Patreon live shows, the 2 different links. The first one will be the link for you to join me on camera if you want to. And then the second link will be the one where if you just want to watch. Because not everybody wants to be on camera, and that's fine. I understand it. Does Daniels come to WVU? Your thoughts if he does, if he doesn't? I think West Virginia is good either way. I'm hearing that he really enjoyed his time at West Virginia. They're definitely at the top of the list. Graham Harrell, the biggest ace that we had up our sleeve. He was the guy that actually helped recruit JT Daniels back at USC. He's familiar with Graham Harrell's playbook, his play calling, his language. That's a big thing with quarterbacks, guys. Y'all don't realize this. The way you communicate with quarterbacks. Coaches are different. And if you're used to a coach, that's a big plus. There's no learning curve. So the fact that there's not going to be that big of a learning curve for JT Daniels at West Virginia because of Graham Harrell, that is a big plus. That is a big plus. I would say it's between West Virginia and Missouri. I would give West Virginia, I did have them at 45% the last time I had a live show. What I'm hearing now, I would put West Virginia at 60% now. 60%. And then I would give Missouri 30% and then Oregon State 10%, which he could still pick. He might end up picking Oregon State because it is closer to home. But from what I'm hearing, West Virginia is definitely top dog. Now, how would it affect West Virginia either way? Well, obviously, you're getting a quarterback that's experienced and talented and somebody that your phenom freshman can learn behind, but it's not an end-all, be-all. Because I do think Nico Markle is the future of West Virginia. He's very talented, and we'll be fine if we don't get JT Daniels. But it is a big plus if we were to get him. And I think JT would be worth at least 2 wins. At least 2 wins. At the beginning of the season. I think he would probably be worth beating Pitt for sure and beating Virginia Tech. Without JT Daniels, we might split that or lose both of them. I still think we could go 8-4. That's a tough start to the season, both on the road, both rivals. It's going to be tough. So those are not gimme games for sure. I'm okay if we split it. But I think if we get JT Daniels, we have an excellent chance of winning both of those and going into Big 12 play, past Kansas 4-0. And possibly ranked. There's a few open windows for West Virginia to get ranked. Let's see. Owen says, does Daniels make us an immediate contender for the Big 12 if we get him? It depends on the other teams. It's not just, depends on how good we are. It depends on how good the other teams are. But I do think that it does make us an immediate contender. Yes. I think we'd be up there with Baylor, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma. I think with JT Daniels, the basement for West Virginia would be 8-4. Whereas without JT Daniels, that's kind of the medium. I think the ceiling without JT Daniels would be 9-3. and then maybe the basement 6-6. 7-5 would be acceptable, but I'm thinking 8-4 with JT Daniels. Basement 8-4, with the potential to have a 10-win season, a strong potential to have a 10-win season, and an outside chance of an 11-1 and being in the Big 12 championship. So yeah, big pickup. Georgia, Oregon, Georgia. I would take Georgia. I don't trust Oregon yet. They have a new coach. I know Georgia lost a lot on offense, but it is in Atlanta. I think that's worth some points. So yeah, between Oregon and Georgia, whenever they play, give me the dogs. I'll take Georgia. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on, guys. Gotta text my wife real quick. Got to keep up with the wife, guys. Like, that's super important. Christopher McDavitt says, I hope Oregon wins. Honestly, I don't. It doesn't matter either way for me, but I do expect Georgia. Jay Glizzy says, I'm sticking with 8-4, 9-3, possibly 10-2. I'll be a little satisfied with 7-5. 7-5 is okay only if we see like a lot of improvement on the offense. We have to see a lot of improvement for 7-5 to be okay. We can't see the same old. Oregon has Georgia's old defensive coordinator. That is a good point, Dan Lanning. I definitely agree with that, or not agree with that, but I can see how that would be an advantage. Y'all give me 1 sec. Hold on. Joey Foster with the $5 super chat. He says, super chat challenge. Are you game? Hold on, guys. Hey. Yeah, I'll text you back. I was doing a impromptu live show because he had the game at 7, and I wasn't expecting it today. No, it's all right. I was just saying that I would call you back as soon as it was done. Oh, no problem. It's not much longer because I started like right before 5. All right, love you. All right. Yeah, when the wife calls you a second time, you have to answer. I don't think she got the text, but that's okay. That's okay. Kim says, I would be happy with Harrell if Harrell became head coach if West Virginia has losing season this year. That's another thing that people don't realize. If West Virginia does fail, Neil Brown might have brought on his replacement. So that is a great point, and that's what I've been trying to explain to West Virginia fans. I'm not stressed about where West Virginia is right now. Even if we do have a bad season, I don't want a bad season. But even if we do have a bad season and Neil Brown does get fired, I would be okay with Graham Harrell being the replacement. So it's really a win-win for West Virginia. I have faith that Neil Brown's going to do good. We'll have 8-4, possibly higher, have a decent, a much better offense this year. But if that doesn't happen and he does get fired, we have Graham Harrell. So that's why I'm not freaking out like a lot of West Virginia fans. I'm not freaking out about it. There's no reason to freak out. Vic2 Productions stopping by. I also got to meet him at the Slavs. I got to meet a lot of people at the Slavs. It was awesome, to be honest with you. McDavitt says Notre Dame, Ohio State. Ohio State by a lot. I think Ohio State beats Notre Dame by 2 touchdowns. Notre Dame, new head coach, a lot of getting used to. Ohio State, I think, will be one of the best teams in the nation, right up there with Alabama. I'll take Ohio State over Notre Dame, and I'll take Georgia over Oregon. But definitely 2 of the best games as far as out of conference. He also says Pitt will beat Tennessee. I agree with that. I think Pitt's the better team. Is that a road game or a home game? If that's a road game, I'm not so sure about that. I didn't even think about that, guys. Hold on, give me 1 second. I don't know it off the top of my head. That is a well, I'm sure y'all will post it before I get to it. That is I think that's a road game. I'm pretty sure it is. No, that's a home game for Pitt. Yeah, that should be a win then. But what would be cool, it would help us if Pitt picked up a loss either against. No, we have the first. What am I talking about? They had it flip flopped. I knew West Virginia was the first game for Pitt, and Pitt was the first game for West Virginia. But the way ESPN had it flipped, so it looked like it was the third game. Maybe we can soften them up for Tennessee. If we beat Pitt, Tennessee can beat Pitt at home, no doubt. Elijah says, I think Tennessee wins by 10. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I don't. I think Tennessee will be a much improved team. I think that the SEC East will not be locked down by Georgia this year. I think it's going to be an actual race between Tennessee, South Carolina, and Georgia. I already have South Carolina upsetting Georgia in Columbia, South Carolina. They do get Texas A&M at home, and then a couple of tough road games. I think one of their road games for South Carolina is Kentucky. That could be tough. But I do think that South Carolina clears the hurdle of Georgia. I do. That is my thoughts going into the season. Shane M. 1980. Appreciate the $10 super chat. He says, a little help for the P.O. Box. Yes, every little bit will help to go towards the P.O. Box. We will 100% have it before the start of the college football season. And once we have it, I will give y'all the P.O. Box number, and then people can send in whatever they want to have in the background. Preferably mini helmets, because that's the best way to represent your team is the mini helmet. But if not, it's okay. If you want to send in a cup, a hat, whatever, I'll display it, no problem. But the mini helmet, that's what I really want, the mini helmets. I might have to buy a few myself because certain fan bases might not be subscribers, or maybe there's just a few of them and they can't afford it. So we'll figure it out. Either way, we'll figure it out. Anybody else? We have a lot of matchups. Clemson at Notre Dame. I'll take Clemson. LSU and Florida State. I'm going to take Florida State in that one. Arkansas at BYU. Man, that's a tough one right there. I'll take BYU because of that. It's at home, but it wouldn't surprise me if Arkansas won that. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Notre Dame at USC. I would take the Trojans for sure. Utah at Florida. That's a coin flip. Florida has the home field advantage, but oh my gosh. I don't know. Florida does have a new head coach. I just don't know if Utah can go on the road and beat Florida. I don't know. If it was at Utah, hands down Utah. I think Utah is the better team, but it's a road game. If you're asking me who the better team is, I'm going to say Utah. But you're asking me who's going to win. That's tricky. It's on the road. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Okay. So this is the stream for the trolls. Yeah, it really is. Well, all the streams are for the trolls and the subscribers, but I wanted to get the trolls' attention by actually putting it in the title. So, open arms welcoming the trolls. Okay. I like the name, by the way. Texas A&M versus Miami should be interesting. Who you got? Blue Man Group. Blue Man Group. That's a first. I think Miami's going to be much better, but it's at Texas A&M. I'd probably have to take Texas A&M, but it wouldn't totally shock the pants off of me if Miami won. But I'm going to have to go with Texas A&M because it's at home. Penn State or Purdue? Penn State. I think Penn State has a big bounce back year this year. They will challenge. I think Michigan falls to third place, And I think Penn State challenges Ohio State for the Big Ten East. I don't think they win the Big Ten East, but I do think they challenge for the Big Ten East. Look for Penn State to have their schedule is going to be a little bit easier than what it was last year, and they have a lot of people coming back. I like Penn State this year. Memphis or Mississippi State? I'm taking Mississippi State for sure. I think Mississippi State is going to be a much better team. I think Mississippi State could finish ahead of Texas A&M, to be honest with you. I think it could be Alabama, Ole Miss, and then Mississippi State. And then that fourth spot should be decided between Texas A&M and Arkansas. That SEC West is crazy. Cincinnati or Arkansas? Arkansas. I think Cincinnati grabs at least 2 losses. They lose to Arkansas, and then they lose an in-conference game. Maybe 2. So Cincinnati could be looking at either 10-2 or 9-3 this year. Definitely not making the playoffs. I can't buy since they lost too much from last year's team. And I think that's on the road too. So yeah, I'm definitely taking Arkansas on that one. That will be Cincinnati's first loss, and then their second loss will probably be to, I'm going to say, I'm not sure if they play Houston. I think they do. If they play Houston, they can lose to Houston and UCF. So I definitely have them losing to Arkansas and UCF. Maybe Houston if they play Houston. All right. Public service announcement. Texas will beat Alabama. No, that's not happening. Not at all. But somebody likes the Natty to beat the Hogs. Somebody likes Cincinnati over Arkansas. That, I'm telling you, if you have confidence in that pick, I would lay money on the money line because that would be a big payoff if you're correct. I promise you that. I wouldn't do it because I think Arkansas is going to beat Cincinnati. But if you're confident on it, I would lay money on it and go for the money line because you hit that, that's going to be a big payoff. That would be a heck of a bet right there. A heck of a bet. Clemson or Miami? Do they play this year? I didn't know Clemson and Miami played for whatever reason. I think it's at Clemson. No, I did because I just did a video on it. Duh. It's at Clemson. I'm taking Clemson. But Miami's going to be good this year. I think the road trip to Clemson and the road trip to Texas A&M might be Miami's only 2 losses this year. They might be looking at a 10-2. And if they could pull an upset on the road against one of those two, they could win the ACC and maybe make some noise trying to get to the playoffs. But I don't trust them that much. But Miami has made some big moves this year. Captain Tripp said, I'm putting money on you to win the Slobs next year. I don't know if I would do that. The smart thing would have been to put money on me this year because they gave me incredible odds. Incredible. They were picking me to finish like 18th, so I was at plus 1,800. That's insane. So if you would have made a bet with somebody and you would have taken me and laid $100 on it, you would have won $1,800, $1,800. This year, because I won the Slobs, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'll give me a little bit better odds, have me at least close to the top 10. The first year I finished 7th, so it wasn't that big of a jump. I don't know why people were all that surprised. I was definitely going for top 5, but who knows? We'll see it depends on how the odds. How about that? It depends on how they lay the odds. If it's significant odds, then I don't know. Maybe. Might be worth a shot. Miami has a pretty tough schedule then. No, they have 2 really tough games on the road to A&M and on the road to Clemson. Besides that, I wouldn't say so. Their out of conference is actually pretty easy besides on the road to Texas A&M. And then their conference games, they actually set up pretty well besides the road to Clemson, the road trip to Clemson. They get Pitt at home. They get North Carolina at home. So those are the heavy hitters in the Coastal. It actually it sets up pretty good. The only tough road trip they have in the Coastal is Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech's down. So that might not be tough. That's why I'm thinking Miami could definitely have a 10-2 season this year. Pittsburgh or Western Michigan round 2. I'm going to have to go with Pitt this time. I don't think they're going to sleep on Western Michigan. I know it's on the road this year, but Pitt's going to be the better team, and they're going to go with a mission. They're going to be fully awake, and they'll be ready. So, yeah. Does UTSA have a chance in Austin? Yeah, they have a chance. I think they could actually beat Texas. What about Mizzou, Kansas State? I'm not sure where that's going to be at. Is that a home game for Mizzou or Kansas State, or is it neutral? I'll pick whoever the home team is. That's who I would pick. If it was neutral, I would say Kansas State. Okay, says you are a former athlete, right? Going to Blue Dude. I am basketball, not football, but yes, I am a former athlete. You kind of had an unfair advantage against those basement dwellers. I don't know about that because it's been like, geez, 20 years. Y'all got to realize I'm in my late 30s. I'm not in my 20s like a lot of people think I am. I'm very close to 40. I'm very close to 40. And it's been 20 years since I've played basketball competitively, so I don't know if that's an advantage or not. In fact, on Sunday, we went outside and I played baseball and basketball with my kids, and I'm still freaking sore. So I can definitely tell that I'm getting old. Definitely getting old. Talk is Pitt in the house. Oh yeah, we have to talk about Pitt behind your back. We know it makes your ears itch and it makes you drop in the chat. That's our way of baiting you in the chat. So it worked, guys. Our plan worked. High five each other. High five. It worked. Talk is Pitt is here. Hey, go to Blue Dude. Have subscribers predict the upset of the week. That's not a bad idea. I mean, once college football actually gets here, that's not a bad idea at all. Not at all. $5 prize, that could be doable. That's kind of low though. I would go more like 20, something like that. Brownie Talk says, "What would be your dream college football playoff?" For me, it would be 1 Minnesota over 4 Wisconsin, and 2 Clemson over number 3 Kansas for the national championship. Number 1 Minnesota over number 2 Clemson. Wow. If you would have given me 1,000 guesses for your particular dream college football playoff, I still wouldn't have guessed it. Still wouldn't have guessed it. Oh, $5 entry fee. Yeah. $5 entry fee, and then I guess how many ever people enter, that would be the prize. I like that. I like that. And the winner of the season gets the mug. We can definitely do that. We're actually going to do some drawings in the off season for some of this stuff off the merchandise store. So we got to get that lined up. Talker's Pit is a mega troll. Yeah, he is, but I actually get along with him. I'm actually, believe it or not, me and Talker's Pit are actually going to the West Virginia Pitt game together. We're actually going to watch it in person together, so that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Imagine that, a West Virginia fan and a Pitt fan getting along. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. Traveling Full says Slim UTEP versus La Tech is an interesting matchup as well. I would take UTEP in that. I think La Tech is still a year behind them. Mustard is better than ketchup. Go Vols. In real life, no. Ketchup is better than mustard, but in football world, yeah, I would agree with that. Go Vols. But I did like what you did there. I did like what you did there. All right, guys, I gotta wrap it up. I hate to get off here, but we got to start getting ready for my son's basketball game. But I appreciate everybody that stopped by and support the channel. It actually turned out to be a fun little show. If you didn't hear me at the beginning of the show, update for the Patreon page. We started doing live shows. I'm gonna try to do one this evening, but if it don't happen, keep a lookout for it Thursday, probably around 6 or 7. 2 links that I will send out. If you're Patreon, all you have to do is go to the Patreon page, and I'll send the links. Um, the first link will be to come on camera with me, so you can literally talk to me face to face. And if 4 people want to join, that's fine. I'll put you all on camera. We'll be like the Brady Bunch. And then the second stream will be if you just want to watch and chat, because not everybody wants to be on camera, and I understand that. But on your way out, since we're closing the show, sorry, Talkie Spit, you caught me kind of towards uh, the end of the show. I got to get out of here. But hit the like button on the way out. I would greatly appreciate it. The video would appreciate it. And, of course, the brand Golden Blued itself would appreciate it. We're having a great month, though. That was one thing that I wanted to tell everybody. We're getting a lot of subs. We're getting a lot of views. And it's because of you guys. Your hard work is paying off. I can't do it without y'all. I can put out videos every single day, but if I don't have help, then it's not going to happen. And if you haven't looked at our merchandise store, we have a lot of great gold and blue stuff. I got 2 T-shirts. I got the gold one and the blue one, so I'm expecting those probably in the next week or so. But we have a lot of stuff over there. Check it out. And yeah, Patreon page, you can join for as little as $2 a month. So, spare change, $2 a month. And you'll have access to our live shows and come on camera if you want to. Always welcome it. And it's a smaller group, so me reading your comment is a guaranteed. If you're a Patreon and you come into a Patreon live show, you are guaranteed that I will definitely read your comment on the camera. So there you go. Zona Tucson 93 says your Pac-12 allies support you, Golden Blue. That's what I'm talking about. See, East Coast to West Coast. I need my Pac-12 subscribers, guys. I need y'all, because I definitely can't. My arms don't reach out to the West Coast, so I need y'all to help me out on the West Coast. And it's working too. I'm getting a lot of USC and Oregon subscribers. Anyways, I got to jump off here, guys. I appreciate all stopping by. I had fun. Hope you had fun. Go check out the Patreon page and see what you think about it. All right. Anyways, y'all have a good rest of your day.